What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, you guys having a good rest of your weekend. Hopefully, you guys having a good Sunday so far. I'm still fighting off this cough that I've had for about 2 weeks. So it is a little bit annoying when you speak for a couple minutes and then you have to cough. People look at you in a weird way. It's like, well, what's wrong with this guy? But anyways, I've been sick for the last at least 2 weeks. So bear with me here. Slowly getting better, slowly getting better. Today's video, we got some information here in regards to some events coming for next week regarding the Folan Silverheart Titan event. All of next week's events have been released in the Player and Play calendar, and there is some things that we need to talk about in this video. Some may be surprising, some may be not surprising. So first, let's go over the upcoming Deck of Fate. Now, the Deck of Fate is going to be in the game right now. The countdown is in the game right now, and the timer is showing 19 hours. Pretty cool picture here of Talena. She is going to be the main reward here from the Deck of Fate. It's going to be a fragment champion that we can collect. Now, the surprise in this is that there are going to be Titan points associated with this Deck of Fate. Now, first, I did not think there was going to be Titan points because the announcement text that we got yesterday from Plarium did not specify anything about Titan points. They strictly said Talena will be the champion and will be the reward. Now, of course, because the information was omitted doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. In this case, the Titan event points will be in this Deck of Fate, also with the champion. I did some digging, and this is not the first time that it has ever happened. It has actually happened a couple of times in the past where Titan points are also paired up with a champion. Now, if you're somebody that's going for the Folan Silverheart 5-star soul, for example, and you're going for Talena, then this is a great surprise to have because now you're picking up 100 Titan points along the way, which just makes things a little bit easier in terms of the total points at the end. So that's going to be the first little bit of news here. And it really comes back to the first week or the preview of the first week's events, where I said there's likely going to be a Deck of Fate with 100 points in it, with perhaps a very, very juicy reward. And we got all of those happening next week with the free, well, not free, guaranteed champion with the 100 points in the same deck. Now, the other bit of the good news here is that knowing this information, if you guys were still participating in the Folan 5-star soul chase for the Titan event, now you guys have the option to still jump into the summon rush and pick up this 100 fragment. So like I said in the previous video, if I wasn't a content creator and I didn't need to make videos, I would probably have waited until the last day to pull my shards for this 100. In this case, knowing that there's going to be time points in this Deck of Fate, let's assume you don't have the resources to attempt this Deck of Fate. It's going to be training and soul stones, if you guys did not know. Now you guys can kind of alleviate those point requirements by going for more points with more shards. So this is just another reason why you guys should definitely wait until the last minute to do, pulls or events in general, but obviously pulls are just the easiest because they don't take as much time, just so you guys have all the information available before you guys make your decisions. So that might be useful information for maybe a handful of you guys out there that haven't pulled all your shards yet. How do we know that there's going to be 100 fragments in this Deck of Fate? Well, there is the Player and Play calendar here. And in this Player and Play calendar, there is the Ethereal Deck of Fate, and it says 100 Blossom points will be available in this Deck of Fate, right? So, yeah, Spellbinding, Talena Soulseer, and the special Deck of Fate, blah, 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 blah. So there we go. Again, this information here is, I don't know what happened, but it can be wrong too. I actually found a mistake in this calendar, the point distribution last week, and I told Plarium, they said it's a mistake. But basically, for this spider tournament, they listed this as 40 points previously. So if you check out my video for the first week preview of the events, they actually listed this as 40. So the point totals didn't really match up. And I asked Plarium, and they said, oh, it's a mistake. So now they changed it back to 50. All the other turn attack events are 40, but then they threw in one special spider tournament, and it's 50. So, Plarium does make mistakes, but in this case, all the points add up, and there's 100 in this Deck of Fate. Now, you guys might have noticed that all the events are available on the Player and Play calendar right now. We do see another event dungeon coming up for 50 points. And then we do see classic arena, the standard stuff. We do see a bunch of turn attacks. So we got Fire Knight turn attack, Ice Golem turn attack again, and then Dragon turn attack again. And then you guys might have noticed this Heroes Path event. So exactly as I mentioned, there's probably was going to be a deck of fate, and there was very likely a Heroes Path happening. It's just how they run these Titan events, and they love to put high priority events within high priority events. So in this case, we do have a Heroes Path, and you guys might be as shocked as I was when looking at this. There's 400 Titan points in this Heroes Path. Now, this Heroes Path is going to land on the weekend, which is just the usual spot for a Heroes Path. And as I predicted, it's going to be shard related. Again, it's the usual spot for shards pulling. It's always going to be the weekend. Now, the secondary component with this Heroes Path is likely going to be Gear Hunters. We do have a training tournament running alongside the Heroes Path, and then we do have the Gear Hunters ending just before the Heroes Path. So the Heroes Path likely will be shards plus Gear Hunters. So spending energy, farming accessories, farming gear, and pulling shards. Now, unfortunately, Plarium did not disclose what will be in this Heroes Path. Now, this is the big information that you really want to know, whether it's going to be something really, really juicy. My guess is that it's probably going to be Telena's 5-star soul. At a minimum. So she was just offered, in the deck of fate a couple days earlier. It makes sense for the 5-star soul to show up here in the Heroes Path. Now, is it possible that they put up another guarantee champion in this Heroes Path? For example, Varkos? I think it's extremely unlikely. There's still about 6 weeks left to this Web of Corruption event. So they're probably going to put Varkos somewhere in July. My guess would be somewhere in the July fusion, which of course would make it, extra stressful in terms of overall resources. But putting Telena's 5-star soul in here makes total sense. The 400 points, I don't recall if this was something that happened in the past. I just did a quick check, and actually it did happen as recently as Edward's Pirate Path had 400 points in there also. Now, I think in this case, 400 points, it's probably not going to be a completely separate path. The 400 points would probably be sprinkled along the way towards the other rewards. There's just so many points here, right? But in any event, we don't know what rewards are going to be in this Heroes Path yet. We'll probably know a couple days before this starts. It starts in 4 days, obviously. But yeah, it's really, really information here that hopefully will help you guys out in terms of overall planning. Like I said, there's going to be 100 deck of fate points in the Telena deck of fate, soul stones plus training. And then there's going to be 400 Titan points in this Heroes Path event coming next weekend for shards and most likely Gear Hunters. Now, keep in mind that this Heroes Path event is actually taking up a spot for a champion chase, and it's supposed to be 2x voids on rotation. Now, I'm not sure if the 2x voids is still going to be in effect. That's something that we'll have to find out a couple days away, but I would assume it doesn't. So we have to rely on sacred shards and stuff for points. But again, just something to keep in mind that may happen for that weekend, that we don't have a 2x boost for voids. In any event, guys, we're going to bring up the RSLX website. This is the schedule. It's just in a more visually appealing layout here. So we do have the Heroes Path here for 400, and then we just have a overall layout of all the remaining events coming next week. We have, like I said, a Dragon turn attacks, Dragon, Fire Knight, Ice Golem. We have the event dungeon also happening, 400 Heroes Path, 100 training, 2 gear enhancement events, and then we have the 1 gear hunter for 80 points. All the points are spoken for, so there's no mistakes in the writing or anything like that, and there's no more events coming after the first. I think the whole Titan event will end on the first. All right, guys. So there we go. You guys are all caught up with the information here. Yeah, we got a little bit of surprises. Good, I guess. We got 100 Titan points in the deck of fate. A little bit of a surprise with the 400 point hero path, but not really. It's going to be shards and gear hunters there. Again, not too much of a big surprise. What we don't know is the total prize, the end prize in that hero's path, but my guess would be Telena's 5-star soul. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully it was informative, hopefully it was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments below if this was helpful, if this was something that changed your plans. Appreciate you guys watching until the end. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.